you know, here's the thing. We were talking about getting into the show. We got calls to do the audition. And I remember we were in a group call, and to be honest, none of us wanted to do it.
Oh, wow.
We were all like, man, no, we don't want to do that, bro. Like, because at the time too, we didn't know what reality TV was. Like, only reality TV that you saw was like the real world. And like, no, they're going to have cameras in us in our bedrooms. No, we don't want to do that. Hell no. You know?
Right.
And I remember Gary, who was sick on the phone, was like, no, you guys are doing it. We're doing it. I don't care.
All right, now, you know, I know you're 1000% in the know and in the mix of what's going on in the breaking scene,
Mhm.
and you are definitely aware 2024 Paris, that's the Olympics featuring breaking, and it seems like the country is like the U.S. scene is just kind of in an uproar about it. Some hate it, some love it. A lot of people are trying to jockey for position, so on and so forth. What I did see though was that you competed in a USA Breaking sanctioned event recently.
Yeah.
So what's your goal behind that? Was it just to, you know, compete and let everybody know, yo, I'm still here, or are you really trying to make a push to be on the team?
No, honestly, it's to show that type of support for USA Breaking, you know. Man, like for one, by next year, it's going to be my 30 years of doing this dance. You know what I mean?
Wow. Oh yeah, you said 92, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
2022 is going to be my 30 years, and you know, next month I'm going to be turning 40. You know.
Wow, you're gonna be in the club. Welcome to the club,
Yep.
man.
Thank you. You know, and I'm at a point where when I found out about USA Breaking, it's not even just about if I make the team, great. If not, as long as I could say that I've helped out with this lineage, you know, of bringing breaking the dance and the sport in itself to the Olympics, you know. Um, so, you know, I was able to be a part in getting information from bboy Excel and from Kid Jet, from bboy Ronnie, um, you know, people who are part of the USA Breaking team, Omar as well, and just kind of getting, you know, to see where their head is at and how they're putting this together. And, you know, I think it's great what they're doing, you know, and trying to organize this for USA Breaking for the b-boy scene, you know. Um, Only reason is because we have to remember that our scene consists of like different artists. You know what I mean? Um, you have your competitive artists that are, you know, more into the competition side. You have your Cypher artists who are just more into the circle and the artistry of it. You have, you know, you could say your footwork more, I guess you could say underground type of side of this dance, which is kind of like and one, you know what I mean? That is more involved in that, more of that art of this dance, you know? So there's different ways of putting out this evolved art form that we call b-boying. You know what I mean? And it was even like that in the 90s too. Think about it from, like we talked about, footwork versus power moves. You know, ultimately it was still b-boying, it was still breaking. It was just different styles that were competing and were, you know, trying to understand each other in that way, right?
Right. And then not to mention when the abstract kids came in, oh my God,
Oh my gosh, then
what
it got
was
even
that
crazier.
conversation?
Then it
Yeah.
was like a Cirque style, and there was like, you know, flexible styles and this and that. So I think what USA Breaking is doing right now is great because, you know, we're at a point where, you know, breaking can actually be a part of the Olympics, you know. It just depends on how we take it there, right? I think what USA Breaking is doing is great because they're still involving the art, they're still involving the dance. You know, it's not just being judged off of just dynamics, it's being judged off of all criterias in breaking, you know. And I think that's necessary for a competition like this, you know. Um, you know, it's just like if you enter a footwork competition, like I'm not going to do power moves, I'm going to do footwork. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the criteria that is taken, that is going to be taken for that. And I feel like USA Breaking and I feel like the Olympics, there's going to be a different criteria But ultimately, what I will respect is that the dance is still there. You know, if you were to tell me that we're just judging you off of your transitions and movement, then I'd be like, but what about the top rock? What about the footwork? What about the musicality? What about, but it's all aspects that we know what breaking is, right? You know,
Right.
from footwork to from the top rock to the footwork to the freezes to the transitions to the power moves to um, other styles as well. Like you're able to be transparent within that system, and that's what I think. What I enjoyed about it, which is the reason why I'm entering, is because I kind of want to understand the system, you know. And I think that's just the type of person that I've always been. Like, I've never been a closed off person where it's like that shit's whack. I don't even want to learn about it. It's like, oh, think about it, man. Like I started off as a power head,
Right.
and I could have said F footwork, but I was the type of person to be like, but what's up with footwork? Like, why is it so, like, what's up with the foundation? How come they look this way? And you start learning about that, from the foundation, you even start trying to get into, new school styles at the time, which was more like transfer styles and, wrist styles and this type of thing. So you kind of, then I even got into choreography, you know what I mean? So I'm just that type of dancer that I want to know every in and out, and I support whatever it is, if it's just art within the movement. And I've just always been a person that's like, I'm okay with the evolvement as long as the art is still a part of it. And I know with what they're doing with USA Breaking, the art is still there. They're just understanding that there is a competitive nature with this because it's the Olympics, right? And I just remember people from New York City Breakers back in the day saying that, man, we want breaking to be in the Olympics. And that was in the 80s.
Self-promotion. That is also a some B-roll in our series that we did, Black Culture is Sport, where we were talking about the Olympics, what would be the implications,
Right.
so on and so forth. So check the channel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're watching this, go ahead and look at that one. Matter of fact, I'll put it up in the little card. I'll put the card up there right now. But anyway, no doubt.
And I think the reason why, like, I'm even showing that type of support, at the end of the day, this is really for the youth. It's really for the future of this dance, right? Like thinking about the Olympics and me being a person that was trying to make it as a b-boy or as an artist, as a dancer. You hope that in the future that if your son or your daughter or your kids want to do this dance for the long run or as a career, you hope that they could have more options than just the options that we had, growing up into this,
Which were limited.
We're super limited, extremely limited, competitions weren't making anything at the time, you'd be lucky enough to pay for your food or your rent, entering competition. So your next goal would be, I want to be in a music video. But a music video can only take you so far, or I want to be on tour with an artist, right? Or like, maybe you just want to street, this is what I do. I just street hit. That's what I do, There wasn't a lot of options as a dancer or as a b-boy or a b-girl. And I think knowing that the Olympics could actually help this scene in that way is because now you're making it official and you're bringing it up there that these younger b-boys can actually go to certain venues or certain places to train. It's actually valid to train with certain b-boys. Like, say for instance, if I wanted my son if he wanted to be a b-boy, and maybe he wants to do the Olympics or whatever he wants to do or compete, it's actually at that level where I could actually take him to district and learn from Ronnie or different people. If I want him to go to LA, I could actually teach him from Flea Rock or Flowmaster or certain b-boys like that live in LA right now. And knowing that this is what you're training for and you're learning the art, but you're also understanding it in a way to train yourself as an athlete too. You know what I mean? Because you're learning about health and everything. So I don't know, there's just so many different aspects on what's going on with the dance and I hear everyone's side. I hear everybody's view and how they feel about breaking going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
From it being a bad thing, from it being a good thing.
And everything in between. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really, there's something that I heard Profo say on, or I read, right? Or I heard him say in an interview, is like, if at any point you don't agree with what's going on in the scene, then create your own avenue. You know?
Well said.
If you know, it's like, you know, he was saying if there's certain b-boys that just are more into the footwork and foundational styles of this dance, right? Like, don't get mad at what the Olympics is doing, then create your own jam and your own event that caters to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like what Squid's doing with his event right now, you know, and I respect that because it shows a different side of it. And who knows what could happen. I mean, if like Profo said, your event could be so dope that Spotify will hit you up and say, hey, I want to throw your event and I want to pay you this much amount to have this event be thrown. So you could do that, you know? Like he said that and I was like, dude, that's a good way of thinking about it, you know? Because everybody breaks a certain way. Everybody has their own different style of this dance, which makes it beautiful, you know?
Right.
And
yeah, man.
If it's not catering to you, it's okay to go a different avenue on what you want to do with an event, because that's what this whole dance is supposed to be about, you know, it's supposed to evolve, you know, each one teach one, you know?
Exactly. Now, Rainen, last thing, and I can't let you off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
If every b-boy in America was competing for 5 spots on the Olympic team, who makes it?
Oh, because you gotta look at it this way, man. The Olympic team is probably not going to be a lot of guys that are older or younger. It's a mix of everybody. So
for more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Beyond the Cypher. Let us know how we're doing in the comment section, and to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support, so peace until the next episode.